Welcome to this week's Black Knights Weekly. On this week's show, we go one-on-one with head coach of the sprint football team, Lieutenant Colonel Mark West. We'll feature soccer forwards Kim On and Errin Helbling, and have a special treat for those of you who couldn't make it out to the football game last Saturday. But before we get to that, let's check out what happened last week in Army athletics. It was a snowy Saturday at Michie Stadium as the football team hosted Fordham. The Black Knights rushed to a 55-0 win, racking up 514 yards on the ground. Sophomore Raymond Maples ran for a career-high 159 yards on just 10 carries, while senior quarterback Max Jenkins rushed for 2 scores and passed for another. The Black Knights held Fordham to 6 first downs and 86 total yards. Friday night, the sprint football team hosted Penn at Shea Stadium. The game was close early before the Army offense shifted into high gear. Junior quarterback Javier Sesteta threw for a career-high 411 yards and 7 touchdowns in the 58-44 win. Senior wideout Ben Johnson had 7 catches for 142 yards and 3 touchdowns. Saturday's snowy conditions followed the cross-country teams to Lehigh for the Patriot League Championships. Both teams ran to 4th place finishes in the meet. Senior Chelsea Prawl earned first-team All-Patriot League honors after finishing 6th. Junior Marcy Nort was named to the second team after finishing 13th. On the men's side, junior Dan Jester led the way with his best race of the season, finishing 14th. He earned all-league honors for the first time of his career, being named to the second team. The snow forced both soccer teams to move their matchups with Lafayette to Shea Stadium. It was senior day for both squads. The women were up first and put pressure on the Leopards from the opening whistle, outshooting them 29-5. But after 2 overtimes, the match ended in a scoreless draw. The men's team would also create scoring chances as well, but it would be freshman keeper Winston Bolt who made 2 stellar saves to keep the Leopards off the board. Both sides played to a 0-0 double overtime tie. Inside Gillis Fieldhouse, the volleyball team hosted Holy Cross. The Black Knights would cruise to the 3-0 sweep of the Crusaders. With the win, Army clinched a spot in this year's Patriot League tournament. Junior Ariana Mankus had 16 kills to go along with a .400 hitting percentage. Sophomore Megan Wilton added 9 kills and didn't commit a single error in the match. The Black Knights defense limited Holy Cross to a hitting percentage of 110. The men's tennis team concluded their fall season at the Dartmouth Invitational and the Harvard Halloween Invite. Sophomore Asika Iso picked up 2 singles wins at Dartmouth before falling in the brackets championship match. Freshman Alex Van Velzer and junior Rashad Shelton each tallied 2 wins at the Harvard tournament. The golf team also finished up their fall season at the Royal Oaks Intercollegiate. Anthony Kim finished tied for 30th after opening the tournament with a 2-under par 69. The field featured 9 ranked teams. After this break, head coach Lieutenant Colonel Mark West will join me to talk about the sprint football game against Navy on Friday night. We'll be right back after this.
This is Scott Swanson, Director of Strength Conditioning, with our SurgeX training tip of the week. These are some fresh off the field workout drills that you can utilize in your daily training program, and it helps take your fitness routine up a notch to train like an athlete. Sports are a great way to round out your workout program. And in real life, just like sports, you move in multiple directions. Speed and agility drills can help you move better in your daily life.
Back on Black Knights Weekly, joined now by head coach of the sprint football team, Lieutenant Colonel Mark West, and really no introduction needed for your final regular season game here at Shea Stadium against Navy. League championship on the line, also the Star. What's practice been like this week?
It's been intense. When you play Navy, anytime you play Navy, guys have that little extra focus, and it's certainly been there this week. So, we're ready to play.
Is it easier as a coach coming into this week knowing that you don't have to create any extra motivation for your guys? They know what the goal is at hand on Friday?
Yeah, I think so. As the head coach, one of the things I try to do at least is make sure everybody stays somewhat loose. You don't want them to get too uptight. You want them to stay focused on the task at hand and the game plan and what they've got to do to execute. So that's really been my focus, as it is every week. But Navy, you got to keep your emotions in check and focus on the task at hand.
Even more so with that season opening loss in the Allegiance Bowl to the Mids?
You know what? That was so long ago that we hadn't even really referred back to it. I mean, we've been watching game film of them all year. They're a very good football team, well coached, well disciplined. All 3 facets of the game. So, that first game we lost, but we've improved a lot since then, as they have as well. So, we haven't really used that as any kind of motivation. We're just going out there to try to play our best football and win the game.
Last 3 league championships have come down to the Star game. You were there 2 years ago. You missed last year's game, obviously, due to deployment. Is there a little extra motivation for you this week to come back and try to get back one against the Mids?
I'm still looking for that first win as a head coach against the Mids, and sure, we'd love to get it Friday night, but that's not the motivation for me. My motivation is, to see each senior class walk out of here with a star. For beating Navy, and that'll always be my motivation. I had my day, way back when, and this is their time. And as the head coach, I'm just trying to help them prepare as best as possible for the game.
Your quarterback Javier sustained back-to-back games with 8 total touchdowns. What's it like to watch him run this offense from the sidelines?
Well, it's really a lot of fun. Our offense has just gotten a little bit better every week. We try to play fast. We try to keep defenses on their heels. And Javi obviously is the catalyst to all that, since he's got to read the defenses and get us in the right play. And he's done an excellent job of that and has only gotten better every week. So of course we're expecting big things from him tomorrow night.
Also a big crowd expected here at Shea Stadium Friday night. What if somebody's debating about coming out? What's the one thing you would tell them to get them to come out here tomorrow night?
Well, come out with a lot of spirit. The crowd tomorrow night is going to be electric. I know in 2009 when we were here, it certainly was a huge crowd and played a big difference for us. And I expect this week's crowd to be even bigger. So just come out with their voices ready to go and yell as loud as they can for us, because it's going to be a fun game.
All right, Coach, thanks for your time today, and good luck against the Mids.
Thanks, Rick. Appreciate it.
That's Lieutenant Colonel Mark West. We'll have more Black Knights Weekly after this.
Army hockey and basketball tickets are on sale now. West Point's Howler Center is the place to be for all the action on the ice and hardwood. Season and individual game tickets are on sale now. Call 877-TIX-ARMY or go online at GoArmySports.com. You can also ask about group and youth team opportunities. That's Army hockey and basketball. Call 877-TIX-ARMY or log on to GoArmySports.com. Army hockey and basketball. It's more than just a game at West Point.
Friday night, the women's soccer team takes on Colgate in the first semifinal of the Patriot League tournament, and the Black Knights will be relying on 2 forwards to help kickstart their attack. For senior Errin Helbling, it's been a strong final season at West Point, totaling 3 goals and 2 assists, while sophomore Kim On made the switch to forward in the offseason and hasn't missed a beat, scoring 9 goals and adding an assist. Helbling has also been dangerous, creating several chances for the Army offense. She says consistency has been the key for her this year.
In general, I was just looking to play every game, every practice was the same. Not every game meant more or meant less, but that every time I went out, it was, being competitive, playing my hardest, doing whatever I could to be an impact. So that was my main mission, and so far it's been working really well, and I'm really excited for this weekend. I can't wait.
Last season, An was named the Patriot League Rookie of the Year, and after her move up top, the New Jersey native was tabbed as the league's preseason Offensive Player of the Year. She says Helbling's competitive spirit has made her a better player.
If we're down, if we're up, she's always working her butt off, making runs all the way back to the back of the 6 where she's not supposed to be, and just winning the ball from a midfielder and running back up. So it's really just her work ethic in her heart. So just watching her motivates me to keep working hard.
But An isn't the only one who has learned something new. Helbling has tried to apply the youngsters' on-field swagger to her game as well.
You have to go out there and you can't overthink anything. You can't, beat yourself up. You just got to play. And you got to play with that confidence, that individual confidence that you can really make a difference. And she shows that every time she goes out there. So she's been a great impact on me, and I hope I've been an impact on her as well. It's been really fun with her out there.
And there's no need for Helbling to worry about that. An says the tri-captain has left an impression not only on her, but the program as well.
I'm really going to miss her. That's the bottom line. Is I love her so much, and, it's been great, and definitely she's going to be missed, and her work ethic and just her talent and everything is really going to be missed. And I've gotten a lot closer to her this year because of just us both being forwards and everything, and she's a great person, and I just wish her the best of luck.
And the showdown with the Raiders starts at 5 p.m. We'll be right back with more Black Knights Weekly after this short timeout.
Now you can follow West Point and Army Athletics through social media like never before. On Facebook, West Point USMA and Army Black Knights. On Twitter, at West Point News and Army Athletics. And on YouTube, the West Point Channel and Army Athletics. Social media, your way to stay connected to West Point and Army Athletics, anywhere at any time.
Earlier in the show, you saw the Army football team defeated Fordham on Saturday. For those of you that couldn't make it to the game, here's some sights and sounds from the snow-covered contest.
Silver dollar depicts a modern-day male and female soldier, and the Great Seal of the United States is circled by the Army's 7 core values: loyalty, duty, respect, Lieutenant General David H. Honchun, Jr. It includes Chief Oscar's bios, game notes, 100 years of historical moment, and information about the history of West Point. Larry Dixon on the TD scamper. Another precision strike by Army, supported by ATK.
Let's go, Army!
Jenkins into the end zone again. Another precision strike by Army, supported by ATK.
Hey, what's up?
Keep it coming, look.
You guys, it's pretty warm here.
After the break, we'll have this week's weekend preview. We'll be right back.
Join the Army A Club today and support cadet athletes 12 months a year. Members of the A Club receive priority consideration for parking, seat locations, pregame hospitality, as well as Army-Navy tickets. But the benefits don't stop there. The A Club also gives members access to special receptions and events throughout the year. To join, visit the A Club link at goarmysports.com or call 845-938-2322. The Army A Club, supporting cadet athletes.
The women's soccer team heads to Colgate for the Patriot League tournament. The Black Knights will take on the host Raiders Friday afternoon. Head coach Stephanie Golan says her team's preparation this week has been fantastic.
I think that the team's done a great job of staying focused and understanding that, you know, to attain our ultimate goal of being in the NCAA tournament, we had to first get to the Patriot League tournament, and we accomplished that goal. So now it's one game at a time to reach that ultimate goal.
It's also a big weekend for the volleyball team as they hit the road for matches at Navy and American. Head coach Alma Cavacci says her team has kept the same focus they've had all year.
This week in practices is we have to focus on what we can control. We are going to scout Navy and American, but it is really about the little things now at the end of the season, making sure that we capitalize on our game plan, not necessarily what the opponent is doing.
Friday night, Shea Stadium will be the site of the star game between the Sprint football team and Navy. The CSFL title will also be on the line. Head coach Lieutenant Colonel Mark West says the Black Knights are looking forward to their matchup with the Mids.
It doesn't get any better than this. This is what every player on the Sprint team, especially every senior, plays for. There are moments like this, for these seniors getting the opportunity to play for the Star and a championship on their final game against Navy. Just what the doctor ordered. So I'm excited for the team. They're certainly excited. I've done a great job this week keeping emotions in check and focusing on what we got to do. But I'm sure once the opening kickoff takes place Friday night, you're going to see a lot of emotion.
The hockey team will continue league play with 2 road games at RIT. Head coach Brian Riley says his team relishes playing at Ritter Arena.
I think if you ask all of our guys, RIT is definitely one of the best places to play because they have a great crowd there. So the atmosphere is awesome. It's really kind of us against the world mentality there, and our guys are looking forward to that. So they're excited about the opportunity to play RIT, who could prove to be one of the best teams that we've played so far, even though we played some nationally ranked teams.
The rifle team will be at home for the first time this season as they host the President's Trophy match. The Black Knights will take on Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard. Here's head coach Major Ron Wigger.
This weekend's match is always obviously a big one with any of the academies. The President's Trophy match is same as the All-Academy match. And we're trying to win it for the 7th time out of 8 years. And but it's a little more pressure, especially for the young folks on the team. For some of them, it'll be the first time they've ever seen the other academies teams.
On Saturday, UConn travels to Crandall Pool for a showdown with the swimming and diving teams. Head coach Mickey Wender says the team made big strides during their recent off week.
We work hard. The harder we work now, the more success we'll have later, and it's really nice. I think it's kind of liberating for the athletes to have an opportunity to push their limits and challenge their potential without having that meat at the end of the week in the back of their mind. Even though we prepare for the end, even though our focus is on the conference championship, it's easy for anybody to kind of lose sight of the forest through the trees, so to speak.
The football team travels out to Air Force for their first CIC game of the season. Head coach Rich Ellerson says his squad won't let that trophy distract them.
That's part of the drama, but
that won't impact the outcome. Obviously, the fact that that's something that's that's part of our culture here, that's part of everybody's, sensibilities. They know that's on the line. We'll have a great week of practice. As I said to you earlier, this is a relatively easy week from a head coaching perspective. You have to make some good decisions along the way, personnel-wise and style of play-wise. But in terms of getting guys excited to practice, excited to play, just get out of the way. They're really looking forward to playing.
The men's soccer team finishes up their regular season Saturday night at Lehigh. With the win, the Black Knights are still alive for a berth in the Patriot League tournament. Head coach Russell Payne has tried to keep things in perspective all week.
Well, it's funny. If you look at any of the games this season, you go into every game saying we have to win. You don't ever go into a game saying, all right, guys, a draw would be good tonight, or tonight's one of those games you can afford to give away and all of that, and it won't have any standing. So the only difference is now there is a greater sense of urgency as far as, hey, we need to get a result. But you can't be consumed by that, and you can't have the guys consumed by that. If you get that into their heads too much, then the outcome is what they start focusing on instead of the moments that lead to the outcome.
Finishing up the weekend, the wrestling team starts their season on Sunday when they take on Boston University and Iowa State. So that will do it for another episode of Black Knights Weekly. We hope you enjoyed watching this week's show, and we'll see you next week. So long, everybody.